Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel where we work with the energy of the moon. And this is the actual eclipse video. If you saw the other one, I ended up renaming it to bonus video because Mercury retrograde. I don't know how else to explain. I mean, Spirit tried to tell me I was not doing the right videos. I'm like, am I doing the right ones? And I was like, it must be. So this eclipse is actually happening in your 9th house, not your 5th house of fun and romance, but your 9th house of long distance travel, long distance communication, communication with spirit, research, just higher education. Apparently we're going to be talking about spirituality with you and you getting in contact with spirit, which all I could see was the Hermit card. So I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to be talking about here. We've been talking about it a lot with you. And so I am going to do a very similar reading. I'm using the same cards because I have a lot of videos that I need to do. So I think, though, we'll have a little bit different meaning. I did listen to the last one before I did this, and it looks like Spirit was kind of touching on it, but it definitely was also touching on the fun and romance because I guess Spirit was like, oh, well, we're going to go with this, I guess. So let's see what we have for your central card, your central issue. This energy, remember, it goes out 6 to 18 months. And so this is part of that spiritual journey you've been focusing on. I've been watching you guys do a lot of soul searching, a lot of really deep-seated getting in there and trying to figure out where it is you're going, what it is that's important to you, what it is that you want to do, who you are, what your value systems are. And I think that over the course of the next 6 to 18 months, you're going to find that you do spend a lot of time working through some of these issues, getting to where you need to go, feeling really comfortable, I think, with who you're becoming and who you are leaving behind, like yourself, like transitioning yourself. All right, one more, and here we go. The overall energy, ooh, fated meeting, and I do believe that showed up in your last one. So hopefully we don't get the same reading. All right, so here we go. Somebody you met, something that you saw, something that you did, something that happened has allowed you to shift your consciousness, has allowed you to start changing your perception of your spirituality. Something happened and it totally shifted some aspect of the way you look at things. It started you on this journey. I feel like that fated meeting already happened. It's not the meeting that's coming. It is an event, a person, a place, a situation. Something triggered this change, this way of looking at things for you. All right, so let's see what it is. In the center, look at this. You are feeling caught up in the ruins. Like you are stuck and you don't need to be. Because you have the blessings, the flow and the blessings of spirit pouring down on you, and look at you sitting there, open your hands to receiving it. The information, the blessings, the love, the opportunity. Following your intuition. When I see the Queen of Roses, she looks very like she looks to me like she is looking for answers in whatever that is. I guess it's a rose that she's holding in her hand, seeking the answers to help her get out of these ruins, which is a lot like using your third eye, your intuition. In the recent past, well, you know you're a manifestor. That's what you were thinking. I can create anything I want. Taurus is very aware of the fact that they're manifestors. You're a manifestor of whatever you want. You put your mind on it, you focus on it, you figure it out, you go for it, and boom, just like that, it's done. It's almost like I have decreed it, and so it is. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, I haven't been reading these in the reverse, but this came up like this. This is the Oracle of Delphi. So it seems to me like you are thinking about trying to get in touch with your intuition if you are not already doing it, if you're not already aware of it. And since intuition is the area that you're being asked to work on for this this particular aspect of your spiritual journey, of your of the eclipse energy, this is about developing your intuition. And so looking for signs. You can always, if you see an animal and you're like, wow, that's a weird place to see that animal, then think, oh, wait, wonder what the spiritual meaning of that is, and look it up. Ask for signs. Okay, all right. Okay, for example, I had an experience where I was like super convinced, I'm not going to go into all details of it, but I was super convinced that I had a new spirit animal. Like, I knew who my spirit animal was before, but I felt like I got a new one. And I didn't even know you could get new ones, but apparently that is a thing. Depends on where you are in your journey. And so it was time for a new one. And so it was a red hawk. I knew it. Like, I just knew it. I can't go into all the details right now, but I knew it. So then I'm walking along and I'm thinking one day, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I really wish I had a sign that that was it. I said, if a red hawk is my spirit animal, I want to find a red hawk feather today. So I walked over to the store. On my way back from the store, walking by the place where I said, if a red hawk is my spirit animal, I want to find a tail feather, a red hawk feather. I found a tail feather laying there in the middle of the sidewalk. I'm like, okay, message received. Thank you so much. So you can ask for specific signs. You can ask for specific guidance. You can also look around and become more aware of what's being shown to you, what's being given to you. And then make a commitment to yourself and to your spiritual journey. Make a commitment that you're going to show up every day at a certain time or once a week and do some meditation or a yoga practice, or I will walk in nature every Friday afternoon for, so I can wind down from the week and so I can receive messages from spirit or something. Make an appointed time, make a commitment for your spiritual practice over the course of the next 6 to 18 months and see how it transforms your life. In the recent past, you have the divine physician. So there's been some spiritual healing. There's been some healing of the heart happening because it's in the heart chakra. You have been starting to finally feel and get a little more balanced. The physician, Jesus, has helped to, the spiritual guidance has helped you to, you're starting to feel more in balance, more in line with who you were. I think that for a while there, you guys were pretty imbalanced. I'm going to just use that word. But I've been watching you slowly working your way through things. And when I say slowly, I mean Taurus slowly, but here you were. This is what you do. You lay a strong foundation by being an architect, by creating a plan, by looking at the specs, like paying attention to the details. So you've been doing this work, the healing, the finding your balance, the planning. But you're still stuck in the caught in the ruins energy, which tells me that, okay, you have an action plan, but now it's time to open up to the flow of blessings and allow the blessings to turn this into the reverse and set yourself free. You can set yourself free. You just need to decide to do it. Because with Taurus, that's all it takes is a decision. And here you are. In the future, you are feeling the divine guidance coming in and you have the muse. And so I feel like you're going to be connecting with spirit. You are going to be feeling that connection. You're going to be feeling the inspiration. A muse is all about being inspired. The connection is coming. I swear some of these cards were in the other reading. So my guess is that spirit's like, okay, well, we'll work with what she's doing here. And it may be that part of this journey is actually meeting someone that makes you feel more spiritually at home, that you're more comfortable with, that's more conducive to where you are now in your growth. In the recent past, the actions you took, you started asking the questions. You start asking the questions. You have the Akashic records. That's where you start going through, okay, well, what has happened? How did I get here? That's doing the research of your past lives and the events of this life that are in the past. And then you have the birth card, which is really a rebirth card because it has the birch trees on it. And this is about going back to your roots and starting, what was it that I wanted to do originally? What was my plan? Why did I come here? What was my intention? That's the soul journey card. What was my intention when I got here? So really kind of deep diving into what is my soul's purpose? When I came here and it was a new beginning and I was regenerating and I was reincarnating and I came here to do something, and what was that? So currently Spirit is out there. This was in the reverse, which makes me nervous. Spirit's knocking on the door. Open the door. Go answer the door. We have two cards here that were both in the reverse about Spirit trying to bring you messages. Please open the door so that you can get the information you need so that you know what your next steps are. So that you can find that spiritual community of people. Those like-minded souls. It doesn't have to be spiritual. It could be just finding that place where you know you belong, where you connect. That fated meeting, that part where you're like, this is where I am supposed to be. Either in a career or in a relationship or in a family or, I don't know, a social group. Like maybe for the last 1,000 years, it feels like you've been on the same bowling league and the same team. And you go every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock and you tell the same jokes over and over. And it's like, okay, I just kind of would like to change it up a little. Maybe you find a new group, a different activity. Maybe you decide that what you want to do now is maybe you're going to join. Okay, this is probably not something you do, but just go with me because it's so vastly different. It's a story. It's a made-up thing. Maybe you decide what you're going to do is you're going to go join this group that does ballroom dancing. 1, because chicks dig guys that can dance. 2, chicks will be there. Not too many guys show up, and so you'll get to dance with somebody every week, and you might meet somebody. Like, it might have like a whole other reason why you do it, but it's a different community, and you get there and you're like, oh my gosh, I really enjoy this. And that could be where your fated meeting happens, just because you've changed things up and you've decided to do something a little different. Okay. And you have honor your inner knowing. Spirit is telling you your intuition is strong. They are bringing you information. They are asking you to pay attention. They are trying to speak to you. Make time for Spirit. And then more than that, trust the information that you get. Believe what you are hearing. Believe what you are feeling. That's the first step. Don't say, is that just my imagination that I think I should do this? Or maybe that's not quite right. And then you start letting your brain take over. So stretch your neck out. Oh, that's doing something different like ballroom dancing instead of bowling. Okay, I didn't even look at that when I was talking. Did you hear that echo? That was really loud. I don't know where that came from. All right. So, return to the sacred. I think it's return to the sacred plan. I think this is returning to the sacred you. And you have resilience and strength. Of course you do. You're Taurus. This is getting back to your soul's purpose, returning to the sacred. You've been out there manifesting, I'm sure, in the financial world because Taurus is driven to feel safe and secure by manifesting financially. It's a very big deal to you. I'm not saying that there's anything right or wrong about it. I'm saying it just is. That is just the thing that tends to drive most Tauruses once they hit their 20s. Not so much in their teens, but then all of a sudden it's like they wake up and they look around and they go, hey, wait, I'm an adult and I'm supposed to have this financial stability and I'm supposed to be at the top of my game and I'm supposed to do these things. And so I'm going to get in line. I'm going to take care of what I need to do. I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to make it happen. And I'm going to be powerful and rich. And mostly you are. In, your arena. And now that you've shown yourself that you can manifest by focusing, Spirit is asking you now to return to the sacred, return to your soul's purpose, which was not necessarily to make money, although making money could be part of it. But making money, knowing that you can manifest that, should be teaching you that you can manifest anything. You can create anything. You can do anything. That should have built your confidence up and allowed you to find that special place where you can make the space, make the time to communicate with Spirit and say, okay, so whether you have a lot of extra financial resources or not, it doesn't matter. You know you can manifest what you need. Now look around. How can you manifest for other people or show them how to manifest? That might be your soul's purpose. Look around. See what you see. Feel into your heart space. What do you feel? What do you know? You are the kind of the knight in shining armor kind of people, but rescuing people all the time, that's kind of tough work. It's kind of soul draining. So maybe it's time to take a time out for yourself and rescue yourself and get back to who you are. It's going to take a lot of courage because you are moving into unknown territory. You are going someplace you have not been before. And you have say what you mean. Speaking your truth. A lot of Tauruses I know are very polite and very socially correct and very much about just putting their head down and doing what they need to do and staying out of the fray. And if other people want to get all wound up about something, well, that's okay. But the problem with that placidness is that people take advantage of it and they try to take advantage of you because you standing up and saying, no, that's not okay with me is really not easy. Depending on what else is going on in your chart. If perhaps you are a Leo rising, that is not so much your problem. Leo rising is like, oh, rules. If you have Capricorn, well, actually, they're like, Leo would be like, you don't understand that I'm magnificent and large and in charge, but Capricorn rising would be like, dude, there's rules here, and you're going to abide by them. So it might depend on what else is in your chart, whether or not you actually speak up, but saying what you mean. It is going to cause a storm. There is going to be some upheaval. But in order to create change, things have to move. And so I feel like it's going to make things move a little quicker than maybe you like. It's like stirring the pot. But it's stirring the pot of change. And if you're standing up for what you believe, if you're standing up for your values and for what's important to you, then I wouldn't worry so much about what happens next. Because that means that there's an opportunity here for things to get into the right order. If you were to choose to not speak your truth, if you were to choose to just keep going along to get along, you're going to be where you are right now. And if you're happy and content where you are, great. But if you're feeling like there's more that you would like to do your soul's journey, that you're going to have to make some changes and it might upset a few people, honey, I know you really like living in this very expensive place, but I always wanted to work with inner city youth, so I'm selling my part of the business and we're moving to the inner city of Chicago pack your bags. That's not how you should have a conversation, but it might be what it sounds like to the other person. And they'll be like, wait, what? And then, you know, there could be an uncomfortable discussion. So maybe you might want to find another way to approach that. But change isn't going to be necessarily a bad thing, because look at all the lives that you will help. So wow, these are really interesting. So you have distant thunder. There's an uncomfortable conversation on the horizon. You have the storm and you have a distant thunder, and you have say what you mean. So a conversation that you have been putting off, something you haven't been wanting to say, that is your truth. That is, I need to make these changes. This is important to me. That energy of it cannot be denied anymore. It's going to happen. So ninth house is also long distance communication. So maybe this is a conversation you have with your dad who lives, you know, on the other side of the country. Or maybe this is a conversation you have with your boss who's out in California and you're in New York, and you're like, dude, I'm quitting my job. I'm not really looking for this conversation, but I'm having it. It can be something that's done over the phone because it's long distance. But say what you mean. Because right now you're at an impasse. It says reflect and redirect your energy, which means that you feel really stuck. You feel stuck. And the only way anything is going to change is if you change. And if you think of this as reflect and redirect as a mirror, the energy is coming at you. By changing the mirror and focusing in another way, the energy is coming this way and now it's going that way, and it bounces off of you. That is how you can, one way to shift energy is by directing your energy in another direction and allowing the situation time to unfold. You have healing energy flows through you and walk in beauty, the wondrous universe. You are being so guided and encouraged to make this change. But I can see that you are very nervous about doing so because you don't like the drama that's going to happen. But try to think of the drama as that little bump in the road. Okay, maybe it's a big one, but it's a bump in the road. It changes the direction of the vehicle. It moves you in another direction. But where you were going was, you know, the bowling alley every night for the last 25 years. And now you're changing directions. Your bowling alley guys are like, dude, why you're abandoning us? What, to dance? And you're like, well, yeah, but then you shift direction and you meet the love of your life. And then wouldn't it be worth it to have a few people upset with you because you've changed your mind about something? You aren't going to know unless you make the shift. But what you do know is if you keep doing the same thing you've been doing, it's not getting you to where you want to go. So it's up to you. It's up to you. It's always up to you. You have free will. No one's telling you what to do here. But Spirit is suggesting, I would say very strongly, that you make a few changes. They're offering you opportunities for insight and guidance from them. I'm going to go ahead and pick that Archangel card again for you for this part of the journey. Be sure to check out your other video. I think I listed it. It's called bonus right now. We have Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is very protective energy. I swear that's who you got the last time. Archangel Michael. Protection, guidance, inspiration, motivation. Faith, energy, vitality, life purpose, and releasing the fear. Courage and commitment. Self-esteem and direction. Call on Archangel Michael. Call on Archangel Michael and allow that energy to cut the cords of negative energy around you, to cocoon you in that blue light of protection, to guide you on this journey. So that when that storm gets here, that distant rumble of thunder, it just rolls off your back like water off a duck's back. All right? Hang in there. It looks so interesting. I'm dying to see what you guys are going to do. I have a feeling this eclipse is pretty powerful in your life. It's on a fellow earth sign, and just because you guys' energy has been building toward it, I've been feeling it. Can't wait to see what you do. All right, you take care. We'll talk soon. I think Mercury retrograde. Drive me nuts.